I was listening to something and doing my reading and quiet time, which is all included in holistic health. Holistic health, as I am promoting, is your physical, your mental, emotional, spiritual, um, financial. So today it's, I was pondering on every good and perfect gift comes from above. That's in James for those that are familiar with the passage and the scripture and choose to participate in the learning and understanding and truth from the Bible as is revelation and non oppressive. And as I thought about that statement and truth, I connected it to yesterday was the birth of Christ, which the world in various forms and fashions celebrate Christmas, which I say is Christ's Day. It's the birth of Yeshua. And with the birth, for some, it's a moment, it's a celebration of that day and that moment. And for others, it's the beginning. It's just the beginning as you choose to step into the will and way of God. And that is because Yahshua's birth was the beginning of opportunity to choose life. I'm going to say wow, because that's not what I thought I would be saying. So that's a word. And so I would hope, even for myself, after all these many years of struggling through what all of this means here on this side of heaven, it is how do we choose to move forward daily, intentionally, on purpose in God's will, God's way? If we choose that, then we're choosing Yahshua and the purpose, and that is the beginning, just the beginning, because then we have to look at it is not done until what the world calls Easter, resurrection, the death, the crucifixion, the death, and the resurrection. So let let I don't want to digress. That's for another moment. We'll put a pin there because that's part of the journey. The world talks about what do we do between our birth date and the end date. How at a gravesite you have your birth, the day, the year you're born, and the day you pass. And what have you done in between, that dash? And so here is what are we doing if we're choosing? Is it a moment? Is it a memory? Or is that memory moving um, into mission and mission into purpose driven and purpose driven really into submission and submission to whom? Because you're going to submit to someone, but submission. And as you are submitting, is it a lifestyle? And if it's a lifestyle here, then you're understanding that there is something else. So I'm going to pause there before I start doing what folks call preaching. And I'm not a preacher, far from it, but I am a teacher. I believe that in my heart, I believe I was created to teach and in the fashion that I was created because I'm not traditional. So with that said, this is the day after, yet is it truly the beginning of? And most of us, and I say most of us, at least folks I know in my circle sphere, um, there are folks that will wait until January 1. and talk about the beginning. Truth be told, all of these dates that we are living under, are they really the true dates that God created? Because God is outside of time. Um, but we do anchor in on some time frame. Um, so, with that said, be blessed. May we make this more than a moment, and that we make it more even than a movement, but that we make it a mission that is driven by the heart of God.